Hey, this is Ben with No Accent Callers, and this is why your cold calling team is not generating you leads, and it's not what you think. So, who am I, and why should you listen to me? I'm the founder of No Accent Callers. Currently, we run a 400-person outbound call center specifically for real estate, and we've generated around 100,000 off-market seller leads within the past year. We have clients that do $1 million a month in assignment fees. We also do cold calling for hedge funds. We wholesale and flip ourselves, and you can't run a 400-person business without knowing what the fuck you're doing. This is a case study on how we generated 140 commercial real estate leads within 30 days. This is us making 100 grand profit on a fix and flip. This is one of my clients earlier this month making a 20K assignment fee. Another one getting 3 contracts in a week. Another one getting another contract, and another one getting a contract. When we look at how to structure a good cold calling campaign, I always show this pyramid. At the bottom, the most important, you have data, next you have dialer, and then you have the skills of the callers. In this video today, we're specifically just going to be focusing on the dialer. I think of the dialer when you're doing your outbound as like the engine of your car. If your engine is smooth, if it's full of gas, you're going to go really far, you're going to go really fast. But if your engine is inefficient, maybe you are running on a low gas tank, you're not going to be good. You're going to burn through the gas, and it's just not going to get you the desired results that you want. So we have to be viewing the dialer as the car. The way that we fine tune it will determine how fast we go. And how fast we go is a direct correlation to how many leads we get, how many deals we'll close. There are 3 main factors that will determine how efficient your dialer is. And it's going to be your DID reputation, your agent productivity, and your drop-off rate. The lowest hanging fruit is going to be your DID reputation. So what is a DID? The DID in simple terms is essentially your phone number, and the reputation is how the carrier looks at the number. So you see here we have a verified number, and then we see here that we have spam likely. And what this is stir shaken in place. And I literally use ChatGPT to put it into a 3rd grade terminology because most people don't understand. So imagine your phone is like a front door, and you only want to open it for people you really know, like your friends or family, not for strangers pretending to be them. So stir shaken helps your phone figure out who's really calling you. It stops fake calls, like when someone pretends to be your bank or a company trying to trick you. And it's like a name tag for the phone call that says, yes, this call is real. And you have 3 attestation levels, which is essentially trust. You have attestation level A. The phone company knows who the person making the call is, and they gave them that phone number. It's like your teacher saying, yes, I know the student, it belonged into my class. Then you have attestation level B. The phone company knows who's calling, but isn't sure that they own the number, like your teacher saying, I know this kid, but they might be borrowing someone else's pencil. And finally, you have attestation level C. The company doesn't know who made the call, just said it came from another network, which is equivalent to your teacher saying, a note came into the classroom, but I don't know who wrote it. So stir shaken makes phone calls safer by helping people trust that the call is really coming from who it says it does, and that the attestation levels show how sure the phone company knows about it. So when we look at, let's scroll back up here, the verification numbers and the spam likely, it is directly correlated to the attestation levels. So your attestation level A is that verified phone number. It has that check mark. That's going to have the highest connection rate. Your attestation level B is, it's not a verified number. It doesn't have that check mark, but it's not pure spam likely. They know the person is in the class. And then finally, you have attestation level C, which is the spam likely. So the problem that most people have when they are making their dials is they have no idea the attestation level of their numbers, because the difference between calling with a verified number versus calling with spam likely is literally the difference between, getting 5 leads a day and barely being able to get 1. So what can you do? So if we look at, taking a campaign from good to great, or from like bad to really good, a lot of people are in this really bad area. So when we call off spam numbers and we're not monitoring the reputation of our DIDs, we're going to get lower connects. If you got a call from a spam likely number, you are not picking it up, I promise you. So the less likely people are to pick up, the longer your wait time is going to be. We're going to go into wait time deeper, but wait time is essentially, the time from when agent 1 gets off a call to the time that they get on to their next one. So a 30-second wait time, very good. That means the agent is speaking to a new homeowner, a new person every 30 seconds. But a 10-minute wait time means they literally are just sitting in silence, waiting for the next call, and you're paying for that time because you pay them per hour, which means lower conversations, which means lower leads and lower performance. So what is the fix? we typically like to do around 50 DIDs per agent. So you're not just having one agent call on one number. You're going to have 50 DIDs because how does the carrier view the numbers? How can they mark it as spam? When they see an inhuman amount of dials being made, this doesn't even need to be a multi-line dialer. This could literally just be a parallel dialer, which means that it's automatically going to dial the next number. They know that when a human calls, they got to go like boop 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 boop, ring 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 ring, and then if they don't pick up, that whole thing takes roughly a minute. That's a normal conversation. The carrier's AI, the carrier's algorithm is able to see that this is likely to be a human. But if they see a number just going boop 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 boop, they know this is not going to be real. So it's going to ding it. Their AI is probably going to put it at that B and C level. So when we're doing our multi-line dialing and we're calling off 50 DIDs, it's essentially spreading the risk across all of the DIDs. So they're going to make less dials per number, which just means that the carrier is going to have a harder time flagging it as spam. Obviously, the next thing you want to do is have DID flagging software. So it's super interesting because you don't want to just use one software. You want to use multiple because you have different carriers like AT&T, T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, whoever the hell they are. Verizon might have a number as verified, but T-Mobile might have it as attestation level C. So you need to be using multiple softwares to essentially get multiple angles at how to see if it's spam or not, because one software, one carrier might say it's not spam, the other might say it is spam. And then you obviously want to swap the DIDs instantly, making sure that, hey, the moment it's flagged as spam, you don't wait a week to swap it. It gets swapped right away, because the more time you spend calling on a flagged number, you're going to get caught as spam. And obviously that's why we make sure all of our numbers are pre-verified. If you use no accent callers, all of our numbers are verified. We have roughly 75 DIDs per client or per campaign, and we have multiple softwares that are looking at every DID in real time and swapping them within minutes. The next problem that people have is agent efficiency, and this can be broken down into two things. One, which is wait time, which is the difference between their most recent call and getting on their next call. And also the drop-off rate, which is the percentage of connections that we're actually dropping off. So what is wait time in third grade language? Imagine you're calling your friend and you have to sit and listen to ring, ring, ring before they pick up. That's time you're wasting. That's what wait time is. In telemarketing, wait time means the caller or salesperson time spent waiting before they actually talk to someone. And why is there wait time? Well, guess what? Some people don't answer. Some numbers are busy. Some numbers are flagged as spam. Some go to voicemail. Some people never pick up a call. If you made a call and everyone picked up, it would be a whole different ballgame. So the caller has to wait to the next person. But this matters because the less wait time equals the more people you talk to. The more wait time is, the more time you're just sitting around doing nothing, not making the dials, doing the inputs to get to where you need to be. And you want to make sure that wait time is as short as possible so that you're spending time talking to real people, because too long of wait time, your agents are doing nothing. But also too short of wait time, you can have wait time of 7 seconds. I've seen it happen. Your agents get burnt out and leave. Imagine you were just talking to someone on an 8-hour shift every 7 seconds. That is absolutely killer. Next KPI we have is drop rate. Drop rate is the percentage of calls that get answered by a person but don't connect to an agent, meaning the call was dropped instead of being picked up by a live salesperson. So if you've ever received a call and you say hello and it just hangs up, that's a dropped call right there. So why does this happen? Because a multi-line dialer, it's called a 3-line dialer, calls many numbers at once. My example, I have 4 numbers for one agent. So let's say you make 4 calls and Joe on 123 Main Street picks up, but half a second later, Diane on 787 Main Street picks up too. The agent is already on with Joe, and unless the agent hangs up already or gets hung up on, no one's going to be able to talk to Mary, so the dialer automatically hangs up at the same time because you only have one agent available. One agent cannot speak to 2 people, and that's what drop-off rate is. It's just dropped calls over total amount of connected calls. And this matters because not only is it a shitty customer experience, it is illegal. If you have a drop-off rate of over 3%, you can get fined for that. And I've seen people get fined for that. Most people who run their own VA calling solution, they have drop-off rates of 15-20%. They have no idea. This also is how your data gets burned. We talk about using our gas in an efficient manner. If you're calling 15,000 records and you have 20% drop-off rate, that's 3,000 people right there. Well, That's on total numbers. But let's say you have 10% connection rate, so 1,500, then 20% drop off rate there. That's 300 people right there that you could have had conversations with. And typically at a 3% lead conversion rate, that's an extra 3 to 6 leads per month right there that you're missing out on because you don't have your dialer dialed in. And this game of cat and mouse becomes the chicken and the egg. Well, we want lower wait time. We don't want 10 minutes between when our agent is on a call or to their next one. So guess what? We'll speed up the dialer line, 3 to 6 lines. But guess what? We speed up the dialer line, we call 6 people and 3 pick up. Well, we only have one agent, 2 are going to drop. Guess what? Our drop-off rate increases. Okay, we want to decrease our drop-off rate because having a drop-off rate over 3% is illegal. Guess what? We turn down the speed and now wait time is higher. And this is the back and forth that all calling solutions have to take into mind. But the reason why yours is not good enough is because you don't know this. And the core of this problem is that all calling campaigns are one-to-one. So, well, not all of them, but majority of people set up was, okay, I'll get one caller. They're going to call one list of Ohio. Guess what? Boom, that's good. It's not good because it is not efficient for performance. And that solution is the smart waterfall. So what is the waterfall? Imagine you have a waterfall with different levels. The water starts at the top level and then flows down to the next and the next, never stopping. And that's how good telemarketing works because the one-to-one way is not efficient. If you pour water into the bucket and it can't go somewhere else, that's where you have drop-off rate comes from. So this is kind of what it looks like. The calls flow down from group of agents to the next. So let's say you have 25 agents calling and each one of them is on a 3-line dialer. A percentage of them will be on call, a percentage of them will be having wait time. But if we each have each agent making 3 dials, obviously with our drop-off rate, the waterfall system allows you to connect it to other agents in the queue. So instead of it just being one caller calling one person, you kind of have like a swarm of people that are in queue. And depending on the pickup rate of the dialer, it's going to auto route to an available agent. And why do we call this a smart waterfall? Because with the dialer system, you're able to manage the tempo of the speed based on the wait time. So for example, we love to have a 30-second wait time. Keeps our agents efficient, it doesn't burn them out, and it also keeps our drop-off rate at sub 1%. So what do we do if wait time gets a little bit higher? Guess what? The dialer is able to automatically pick that up. So let's say we're calling it 3 lines, but we're having an average wait time across all agents of 1:30. Now we're going to go to 4. We're going to go to 5. We're making more dials as wait time goes on because we know, look, we can get technically a wait time of 1 second. But if we have a 100-line dialer, that's 100% illegal, that's 100% uncompliant, and it's not efficient whatsoever. So the dialer is able to go faster, add more lines as wait time goes on so that we can get to that sweet spot of 30 seconds. And that's what we mean by smart dialing. And most people don't do this. They don't know. They just have 2 to 3 VAs and they're doing this campaign. A lot of times people come to us, they want fixed callers. Why? Oh, our callers are, one caller might have a better accent than the others. And that makes sense. You want someone who has the best accent, the best skills. But when you have a fixed caller, they're essentially getting taken out of the smart waterfall system and they're going into the one-to-one, which actually becomes less efficient. So a lot of people think, oh, if I have a fixed caller, if I train them more, they're going to be better. Well, guess what? They are now plugged out of this waterfall system. They're going to have high wait time. They're going to have high burnout. They're not going to be the most efficient with the dialer. So this is the mistake that a lot of people make. And if you're looking for a company that takes care of all of this, 100% done for you at a really high level, obviously go book a call with us at No Accent Callers. We've been doing this at a very high level for the past 2 years straight. And essentially, cold calling is a science. It is math. It is all a function of how many callers you have, the dialer, the training of the agents, and making sure the maths. Having enough data to make sure that you have a wait time of 30 seconds, not having DIDs that are flagged as spam. We do all of this. We take care of it so that you just focus on the highest leveraging, closing more deals.